Hello, hello, this is Fake the Nation, where we talk about news, we talk about culture, and where we ask, does summer need to be about something like Brat Summer and Hot Girl Summer? I'm your host, Negin Farsad, and I feel out of the loop because I only just found out that this was supposed to be White Boy Summer, and apparently in a non-supremacy way. Don't worry, we'll explain. We'll also talk about the trend to legalize human composting. We'll look at the political scene because Trump will not shut the fuck up, and on the plus side, though, in politics, Illinois is actually legislating on AI. And finally, are the podcast bros turning on Trump? We'll get into all of this with what I have deemed a remarkable panel. Oh my God. Joining us, you've heard him on the show before. You've heard him on Wait, Don't Tell Me before. He is a much-lauded comedian and writer, and he has a new special out. I have seen pieces of this new special. I can't wait to see the whole thing in total. It's called Positive Reinforcement, and it is from the one and only Josh Gondelman. Oh my God, hi Josh.
Hi Negin, it's so nice to see you and so nice to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for your special, which literally was just reviewed by Vulture with glowing terms and much deserved. I've seen you live. I know this is a good show, so I hope folks check it out. Also joining us, folks, it's an embarrassment of riches
Thank God
today.
you got to me. Go ahead.
And she's got some mean stuff to say.
Yeah, you I shit on. No, it's an embarrassment of riches, you guys, because this gentleman also has a new special out. It's called The Collapse. He's a comedian's comedian. I don't know a single comedian who does not absolutely adore this guy. You will adore him too if you go to veeps.com/Eddie Pepitone and watch his special called The Collapse. It is the incredible Eddie Pepitone. Hey, Eddie.
Hey, it's great to be here, Negin, and hi, Josh.
Hello, Eddie.
And he goes for the French pronunciation of my name, Negin, but it's actually Negin. And
Negin.
We go so far back that, like, pronunciations, we've thrown them out.
Them.
You know what I mean? I was just telling Eddie a story about how I met him, like, in 2009 when I was a young comic, and I was so excited to meet him, and he doesn't remember because it was not an important moment in his life, but an important one for mine. So anyways, I continue to be forgettable. Folks, to support the show, please go to patreon.com/Negin Farsad. You get bonus episodes, more of the show that you love for as little as $4 a month. There's tiers beyond that. I don't know. I think it's a great bargain.
There's Tears Beyond That. Sounds like the name of an Eddie Pepitone special if you spell Tears T-E-A-R-S.
What's the name of it?
Tears Beyond That.
There's...
Yeah.
All right, folks, let's get into it with topic number one. All right, so we're just looking at some cultural trends here, and Washington, New York, California, Colorado, Minnesota, Maryland, and Georgia all have something in common. They have all jumped on the human composting bandwagon. That's right. Move over burials and cremation. Human composting is the next big trend in dead bodies. I don't know, like, where are you guys on human composting?
We buzz in? No, we don't. Okay.
Okay, you Eddie, you buzzed?
Where am I on human composting? You know, I got the link that you sent for that, and I was like, oh my God. So it's basically gardening, because my dad, who terrified me my whole life, and I don't want to make this podcast about my childhood, but it does give you context. My dad, my whole life, my teenage years especially, he was like, you have to put the eggshells in the compost pile. We had a little garden, you know, and there was a compost pile. This is in Staten Island, which nobody reads a book there. But anyway, to get to the composting thing, do I think it's a good idea? It sounds insane on the one hand, because I read that they have to let the body compost for at least 30 days.
Yeah, right? I mean, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know about like, if I die, I don't know if I want to be hanging out in some little...
like naked.
naked and they put all kinds of different ingredients. Now, of course,
Ingredients.
me being, yeah, I believe there is
No, there's like
syrup involved.
alfalfa sprouts were
Some
a big,
oregano.
seemed to make a
Right,
big appearance.
right. But no, I mean, it's funny because if you fly over New York, you see that
Hmm.
cemeteries are insanely filled up. So you can't,
Yeah, you're not doing
but
burials anymore.
yeah, but I didn't know that cremation was bad for the environment. I didn't know cremation was bad for the environment. That's what they said in this article. Do you know, Josh, how it's bad for the
I think it's
environment?
the fumes from what it takes to right to like incinerate just
Mm.
the yeah what it puts out.
Oh, the
Yeah. I
Yeah,
pollution.
think so.
general burning of stuff
I,
feels like it's always
I
going to be
see.
bad.
Eddie, I'm with
I
you. When I
see.
drive past one of those cemeteries in New York City, I get so jealous of the dead people. Where I'm like, oh, they own their own
Yeah.
space. That's incredible.
Yeah, a condo in the
That's right.
afterlife. It's so
I
nice.
never have to move.
I, yeah,
Yeah.
I get jealous that they're dead, you know, that they don't have to put on pants, no pants anymore, no, hello, Ted, how are you? None of that
You have this
bullshit.
thing with clipping your nails, right? Where it's like every so often they get, you go, I gotta clip these down. You go, this shit again? I gotta keep doing this forever.
Wait,
Yeah.
clipping your
Yeah.
nails is what gives you the most existential
Yeah,
angst.
clipping my nails and sometimes shaving, but always clipping my nails. Because I'm,
And
yeah, and
fascism.
fascism too. Fascism is bad.
Oh yeah.
It's
That'll
kind of
do.
the
I wish we
clipping your
could.
nails of government regimes.
Well, the the funny thing is now composting, regular non-human composting, is a New York City requirement. Like we all now have compost bins or whatever. And so
Oh,
I
wow.
was just personally thinking, like here in Manhattan, like when I die, instead of going through the whole and there's a funeral, could we
Just
just
throw you in a
me
compost
in
bin.
the bin, in the regular city bin, and then we don't have, and then that's it, and then I'm in the, and then I'm fertilizing.
This is the problem I have. I think we're so full of microplastics at this point. Like, how good are we for plants? It's like using it's like
Yeah.
using pen caps for fertilizer. Like that's what we're made of
Right.
at this point.
Right. Well, by the
Yeah.
way, we talked about this concept when there was like a company that first came out, and we talked about this like years ago on this show. And since then, all of these states have like actually legalized it. I don't know, maybe we talked about it in a bonus or something. But point is, I couldn't help but talk about it because it's like one of those, I don't know, rare moments in Fake the Nation history where we talked about something, there was policy change, and now it's also way more popular. The percentage of people that are like willing to do it has grown. It's 68% of customers surveyed said that they'd be interested in learning about green funerals. 67% of people in the United States who died in 2024 were cremated versus only 33% who
I
were
didn't realize
buried.
that.
So so basically burials are taking a
Wow.
nosedive, guys. A nosedive.
Well, will they? I don't mind getting composted as long as there is a service where they make a big deal out of me. You know what
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, Eddie had a great review in Vulture. Whatever it is, I don't want to just be thrown in a thing and just, not deteriorating, composting into,
By the
nothing.
way, love the additional plug of the clap special in the middle of human composting. He was also gloriously reviewed in Vulture, in case I didn't mention it. And I think that clipping from Vulture, if it came in paper form, could be put on your body as you decompose. Is just a suggestion that I'm making. Well, let's move
Yeah.
on from this to talk about summer. Now, Hot Girl Summer begat Barbenheim Summer, begat Brat Summer, begat White Boy Summer. Apparently, Chet Hanks, son of Tom, declared that this was White Boy Summer, and not in the racial gross way, but in the way that a bunch of white dudes who are musicians are wearing tank tops and serving up like brooding looks. Think Benson Boone and Jack Harlow. Now, obviously, it's disputed whether this is actually White Boy Summer, and my question to you is it White Boy Summer? And if not, do you have an alternate summer label that you're
So,
proposing?
Chet Hanks, right? Tom's Jamaican son. Started saying this in like 2021. He was like 2021 white boy summer, and so he's really trying to get this started. And that was the first one he declared white boy summer. But like, not to brag, but we've had quite a few summers in the past. Until Lilith Fair started, we just called it summer. It was always for the white boys.
Summer, that's right.
For better and for worse. And like, we name our summers. This is it. We name our summers the same reason you say cow when you pass a cow when you're driving on the highway, or you see a cow, you go cow. Because the world is full of brutality, and the only meaning in all the horror is what we choose to imbue it with. So that's why we have white boy summer.
Are you clipping your nails right now? This is like, that got into like such a dark
Chet Hanks
place.
is like the Jean-Paul Sartre of modern thought, is what I'm saying. Hell,
First of all,
No, please.
I'm sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
Eddie.
No, I was just going to say that it appalls me that the Hanks are involved. Like, can they, isn't it enough to know that Tom Hanks types out everything? Do we have to hear from his children? Do you know that? Hanks is always talking about, and he signs his things Hanks instead of Tom. And it's a whole big thing, And so whenever a Hanks is involved, I don't like it. But as far as naming, and it's just something, I don't know why. It's as far as naming summers, how about something relevant and not silly?
Okay.
Like Eco Collapse Summer. Summer of Death.
Okay.
Right? Because every summer is getting. By the way, I don't know about you guys. You're in Brooklyn. Where are you, Negin?
I'm in the East Village in New York City. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys ran away. You guys can't deal with the West Coast. Like I was from Brooklyn, but I had the balls to leave. Anyway, each summer I get absolutely paranoid. LA is burning. I was in New York a few times. I was in New York a week ago, and I was choking the whole time with the Canadian wildfires.
Yeah, that was rough. Yeah, that was not fun. Well, I actually, okay, now you guys have like some really dark suggestions. I have a suggestion two suggestions that I think are more fun. One is a little less frivolous, Mom Donnie Summer.
I'll take that in New York. Yeah.
Love that.
That's an improvement.
Okay, it's a fun, and it's actually like kind of happening, right? Because they're gearing up for the general election. I mean, there's Mom Donnie posters everywhere. Like, people are excited. I'm into it. Mom Donnie Summer. Okay, so
Eric
there's
Adams,
one.
the current mayor of New York, is polling in the general election as an independent at 7%.
Oh, good.
Even he has a Mom
good.
Donnie poster up.
And that's those 7% of votes. Those are mail-in from Turkey. That is not. Those aren't organic.
Right. Yeah. That's right. So that's
votes.
like, yeah, those are just the people that
That's
work
right.
at Turkish Airlines. My other offering is Pedro Pascal Summer, because he's in everything. I just got to do. Wait! Don't tell
Was
me
he
with
nice?
him.
No,
Sorry,
I know I missed
Josh,
it.
you
Was he
weren't
nice?
there. First of all, guys, can I fucking tell you now? I know you're both dudes, and I don't know if you fully understand in
Who
your
is
body.
he again?
Oh my god.
Oh, no, I've heard of him, but
Pedro
tell me.
Pascal. He's in The Last of Us. He was in Game of Thrones. He's currently in The Materialist.
And the new Fantastic
He's
Four.
just
and
this
the
beautiful man.
Gladiator
The new
sequel, I
Fantastic
think.
Four.
Who was he in Fantastic Four? Because that's the one I've seen.
The beautiful one. The like really gorgeous one. Now, I just have to say, first of all, he's in everything. He's a national treasure. And the Wait audience, when they found out that he was the guest that night, lost their fucking minds. Man, woman, child, everybody lost their minds. He's got a cross-gender, cross-generational appeal like no one I've ever seen. And then on top of it, because he was a waiter for fucking 16 years before making it big, he was a really fucking cool, nice, funny guy.
Nice.
And
That
so
is nice.
so at that moment I was like, this is a Pedro Pascal summer for me, okay, for me. And now me and Pedro are like really like best
You've been
friends. Anyways, it's
texting.
not a big deal.
You are.
We're like so close,
Planning a
and
road
it's not.
trip.
It's fine. Totally. I made him a mix. Anyways, those are my summer options for you guys, listeners. Is it some sort of a summer for you? Let me know. I'm collecting summer labels before the summer is nearly done. But obviously, don't forget, it could be death summer or collapse summer, according to Eddie. We'll just leave on those fun notes. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about politics. And we are back, and we're ready for topic number 2. Honestly, Trump should go on summer vacation and stop declaring shit. His whole presidency has been one giant self-motivated declaration with no basis in reality. After several weeks of declaring random tariffs that bear no relationship to actual economic factors, this week he has decided to deploy National Guard troops to D.C. He says D.C. is really dangerous and taken over by criminal gangs. Fun fact, DC's crime rate has been declining since 2023. Now, my question to the two of you is, I guess, what the fuck is the question?
Well,
Thank you,
I'll
Eddie.
take this first, Josh.
Oh, sure, please.
You
Yes,
know,
yes, Eddie.
and that's just because I want to get it out of the way. Look, have you heard? He keeps issuing executive orders. Did you hear his latest executive order? It happened like 10 minutes before we went on.
No, God.
He has given Judge Judy the power to hang people,
She's
and
like,
this
she's
this
Judge
is not
Judy and
right.
executioner.
Yeah, it's like you don't pay if you don't pay your roommate $50,
Wow.
you can go to the gallows now. And he's instilling fear. No, I think I cannot believe, by the way, the rapidity that the authoritarianism has taken. Like I knew this would be bad when he got elected, but I can't believe how quickly bad it's gotten. So quick. And where are the mechanisms to stop this guy from, just declaring things and putting all these federal troops, Pretty soon it's going to be in our spas. I have come into some money lately, and I do a lot of spa treatments. I don't want to see federal troops in spas. I don't want it.
Yeah. Are you doing
is-
a lot of your spa treatments in
Well, LA?
DC? Oh, yeah. That's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, sorry. The national troops that
Yeah.
remain. Josh.
Yeah, because they
yeah.
have nothing to do. I'm sorry. They have nothing to do but go to spas. Josh, you take it from here.
I've been saying this for months. I'm with you that I'm so frustrated with like the response from the Democratic Party. It's like I just would like to see a little more fight, right? And it's so frustrating. I keep saying this, that it's for the pleas to call your representatives and tell them to stand up against fascism. It's like, hey, if they don't know, they're not going to trust me. I'm just some guy. And like, what am I going to call and beg again for Chuck Schumer to take a stand and like, oh, thank God he listened and tweeted, this is not normal. Good. And we know what's happening here.
Yeah.
He's calling the National Guard on DC. He's just calling the cops on the closest black people to where he lives. That's what this whole thing is. And like,
Well, and also, can I point out one of the things that sort of maybe prompted the whole thing was like Big Balls, the gentleman who worked at the at Doge. He's like a 19-year-old worker at Doge. I guess he was like
that's
carjacked and beaten up or whatever, and then that kind of went viral that happened. Mind you, other things happened literally the same evening that happened, but those other things didn't happen to Big Balls. And again, I'm not saying Big Balls, whose actual name I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm not saying that Big Balls should have been anything. Of course, it's terrible that he was beaten up. It's really, really bad. But in fact,
wait a
there
minute.
are
Do we
other
have to say
cases
that like legally?
warrant
Do
the
you like
same level
legally
of
have to say it's
attention.
bad that he got beat up? Because if that's not a legal requirement, I think we can leave it out.
But I do think no one should get beaten up, no matter how much I dislike your policies. However, I do think it's just telling that it was the one thing that got him, that theoretically got him to do this. It's the thing that went viral across the MAGAverse was that one guy got beaten up instead of like other crimes that maybe happened to less fortunate people or something.
Negin, this is huge because I think what you've cracked is the code to getting more good progress happening in our company, right? In our country. Because all that means is for things to get fixed, something bad has to happen to big balls. So like if we want universal health care, I'm sorry, big balls, you need to get cancer. And that's just a hit you're going to have to take for America.
I mean, look, there's no bad ideas, Josh. No bad ideas.
Or de-escalate police presence and use that funding for other vital services. I'm sorry, big balls, you're going to have to get shot by a cop. This is just what has to happen for America to progress if we're going on a fully big balls related system.
Right. And also maybe and this doesn't happen, but obviously, carjacking, the DC crime rate, which is apparently has gone down. It's a result of this polarization of wealth, and that there aren't a lot of social programs, there aren't a lot of jobs, and people are desperate. I am not saying that violence is ever a good thing.
Unlike Josh, who
I
thinks
did
violence
what?
could be a really progressive
you don't
value.
have to say it's a bad thing every time it happens.
I mean,
Sorry,
I am
continue,
attacked
Eddie.
constantly. No, I'm attacked constantly violently, but it's by myself. I have great self-loathing, tremendous self-loathing, and I'm carjacking my psyche
Yourself,
every damn minute.
Yeah.
But this is all a result. The violence is all a result of no social conscience on the part of our fearless leaders.
Do you feel like this is just the beginning in terms of like how often he's going to be doing these deployments of National Guards?
Yes.
I'm with Mamdani. Obviously, he's already come out against Mamdani and said all this shit, whatever, and they want to investigate Mamdani, whatever. Like, I feel like New York is so the next city on the block that's going to face this, right? I mean, Josh, you're in town. What do you think?
I think he has just found the buttons that he can push in places where it's harder to push back, right? Like if he's just sending what will stop this from happening if nobody stops it? And again, I can't stop it. I'm just a guy. I can't go out in the street and be like, knock it off, the National Guard. I hate that this happened.
You're no big balls.
So I guess the
balls.
National Guard is going to have to set Big Ball's house on fire so we get some change here.
But New York is tight-knit. New York is tight-knit, and I remember seeing a video on Instagram, which is where I get all my news. New York, when ICE came into a certain neighborhood, I think it was in Brooklyn, man, they were met by a whole neighborhood of people and chased out. So I think New York is not going to be as easy as some places.
Also New York has a more, we're allowed, as being a city within a state, there is like a more, there are more safeguards in terms of local government to stop that from happening too, right? Like where DC is just kind of like, so often they lack the like infrastructure of self-governance.
Right, and it's funny because according to its like home rule statute or whatever, the Home Rule Act, the president can actually take over the DC police for a period of 30 days by just declaring special conditions of an emergency nature exist. That's all that has to happen for that to, and then after that, local control reverts back to DC unless Congress passes a law to allow a longer period of federal control. So like, that's the thing that could happen. I mean, I guess if Congress continues to be fucking garbage, letting Trump do whatever he wants and not reclaiming any of their own power, then I guess this thing could continue. Anyways, nobody likes it.
I do think,
I
want to chime in and say again, I do think what Eddie was talking about communities offering resistance, right? You saw it in LA, you saw it in New York, especially with ICE. You saw like people really banding together to protect members of their community, and I think that's really valuable and beautiful to note.
Yeah.
Also, if
ahead.
there is a terrorist attack, because I think this is all Trump testing his abilities to play dictator. And could you imagine if there's a terrorist attack, that the kind of clampdown that is going to
make
happen?
the Patriot Act look like the Magna Carta.
And,
yes.
And also, forget terrorist attack. I think the next No Kings protest, which we saw hundreds of thousands of people. I'm sure the administration fucking didn't like that. It also stole the thunder of the military parade, which was probably its bigger, offense to the administration. I can picture him deploying people for another No Kings protest.
Next time Macklemore releases a single, they might be sending in the National Guard.
It is White Boy Summer. Okay, folks, let's move on and talk about another little area of politics, which is a little bit more positive, I think. In Illinois, Governor Pritzker signed a new law banning the use of AI in therapeutic services or in making clinical decisions. I was really happy to hear about literally any kind of restrictions on AI. What do you guys think about that?
Obviously, should AI be your therapist? I don't know. Should a claw hammer be my primary care physician? Can a blender be the best man at my wedding? Like, what are we doing here? Large language models don't know things, and they aren't people. And I made a list of some things that would be better at therapy than AI. The lyrics to the song Jumper by Third Eye Blind on a loop. Just wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend, over and over again. What else do we have? We've got, a magic 8-ball, because at least then you have a 50% chance of it telling you the right thing. Any surviving member of the silent generation, I think, would be more warm and empathetic than AI. And even just seeing a stranger's dog, I think that's better therapy than AI therapy.
By the way, there must be. Didn't even realize that AI was getting into the therapy seat. I just thought I was like, what? You know what I mean? I just didn't even know that people were laying down on a therapist's couch in front of Alexa. I just didn't even.
A year ago, we were being told AI wanted to be a screenwriter, and now it's washed out of the entertainment industry and going back to school to be a therapist.
Yes,
Eddie,
that
what do you
happens
think?
to everybody. Well, what I think is, again, this is a result of people not having access to therapy. And you guys make fun of AI. I actually get good advice from AI. They told me to dress in brighter colors. AI told me get up a little earlier, Eddie, stretch.
Was that AI or was that your wife that you're confusing for AI?
No, she's checked out a long time ago. This is AI who actually gives a damn about me. You wouldn't and by the way, I don't use AI a lot, but I have a friend who's a brilliant person, and she started using AI for advice on relationships. And so I'm not kidding. And the advice was terrific. I think you think I'm kidding. I don't even know if I'm kidding. At this point, I just spew out a lot of words and hope for the hour to pass. But I have to tell you that people can't get good therapy because, again, we make war, not love. You know what I mean? Which was a big saying during the Vietnam War. My parents had this big poster. I don't know if you guys remember that. Make love, not war, and they fought all the time, no, and I said, can you do the fucking poster?
They were
But,
thinking
but,
globally and acting globally.
but
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? That,
Yes.
that the prohibitive cost of therapy, I can't believe what therapists charge. A good one, you know?
But there's, yeah, and then for the record though, there's also like tons of public services that
I
are for
guess
mental
so.
health. There's, there's like online therapy, where you can be connected with a therapist somewhere in the country over Zoom, so that actually like removes a lot of barriers for therapists.
Really? Well, now
Yeah, I mean,
you're
I think it's
undercutting my humor.
now I'm like I am arguing with you is what's
I'm
happening right
kidding.
now. But basically, I think what's really remarkable about this Illinois thing is that they fucking did one thing about AI, which
Yeah.
feels like nobody wants to do anything about AI. We're more like, let it take over. What? Let's just do autonomous weapons
Yeah.
and have AI decide where we bomb. Like it just feels so rampantly unregulated. I was thrilled to
Yeah.
see one legislator actually
thing.
do a thing about it. So bravo, one good thing, guys. Let's follow it up with like
Yeah.
several thousand more good things.
We are
Okay,
working
that's all
from
we
a
need,
good
and we'll
thing
start to
deficit.
feel better.
We are deep in the hole. We are behind.
All right, folks. Let's move on. And now let's get into topic number 3. Lately, the podcast bros that helped get Trump elected have been showing signs of fraying. Joe Rogan has come out against some of Trump's policies, for example, calling the deportation of innocent immigrants who aren't criminals, quote, horrific. Andrew Schultz recently said, quote, everything he campaigned on, I believed he wanted to do, and now he's doing the exact opposite. Let's see. Theo Vaughn posted a video of J.D. Vance from last year where J.D. demanded the release of the Epstein files, and now Vaughn added, so what changed? So my question to the two of you is, so what did change? And do you think this really marks a change for their followers too?
Well, I think that these guys are very conscious of their image. I don't think they're stupid. I don't. I think they are very shrewd, and they have to live with the fact that they endorse Trump, which is really fucked up. But the fact they cannot ignore the blatant disregard of rights that ICE is doing, particularly. This guy Schultz, by the way, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but you said he's doing the opposite. You quoted him, Negin, as him saying he's doing the opposite. He said, accept immigration. He thinks that's great, so fuck him. But the other guys are doing some good backpedaling now. And I think that is a good thing because the MAGA bros are like, yeah, this is fucked up, and so I think, it's image oriented, but they're not stupid and they see that this is fucking horrible, and they'll have to live with the fact that they endorse this
Here's how you
guy.
can tell whether Donald Trump means what he's saying when he talks to you, right? When he promises to do something that sucks shit, he's telling the truth. And when he promises to do something good, he's lying. That is literally true. That is how he operates. And like, if you, Joe Rogan, believed that Donald Trump would keep a promise because he looked you in the eyes and said it to you, that's stupid. Donald Trump doesn't see other people when he looks in their eyes. He looks extra hard and sees his own reflection in your eyes. And also, first of all, this is like a tangential point. Looking someone in the eyes is an overrated metric for honesty. Do you think eyes are magic? Negin, I'm looking you in the eyes. I know it's through a computer, but I'm still looking you right in the eyes. You can look right back at mine. I am 10 feet tall and have molten steel in my veins. Easy. This is not hard to do if you don't care what you say.
I believe it. Right. Well, and I think that point about anything he says that's awesome he's not going to do because one of the reasons I think I might be wrong about this, but that Andrew Schultz has like started to backpedal is because the IVF stuff is just not happening. You know, he had promised that we're going to get insurers to cover IVF, and it's going to be included in this and that, and we're going to subsidize it, and oh my God, IVF, and we're going to make Americans have more babies. But that's not happening at all. And people like Andrew Schultz, people like myself, actually, I did IVF to have a kid, and so it's like those policies sound fucking great, and wouldn't it be nice if this thing that's astronomically expensive was like more affordable and more people could do it? Like that'd be great.
But it's
and
good,
so
he
I
wasn't
think
gonna do it.
A lot of women, people. Right, and it was a good idea, and he wasn't going to do it. Right, and also lowering costs was a good idea, which he also didn't do. So, rock solid theory there, Josh. I think I wonder, do you guys? No, the big discussion among Democrats was like, oh my God, we need to have our own podcast bros, and we need to have our own like left-wing manosphere, whatever. Do we need to do that since all these guys are like kind of turning around a little bit? Do we just watch their clinging to the right disintegrate and just let that unfold, or do we still need to like make some manospheres?
Can I say this, that in defense of these guys who endorse Trump, the Democrats are horrible. They're horrible. Yeah. They're horrible. They funded a genocide for one. They are the party of war. They are a party of war. They don't give us. The first bit of hope I had is the New York City mayoral candidate,
Mamdani Summer.
Mamdani. He and the Democrats have come out against him. Do you realize how just bad the Democrats are? So, we need to swing to the left in a big way. And the Democrats, and I hate to use this term, they need to grow a set of big balls.
Well, and my question for you is like, besides, they need to grow a set of big balls, not the concept, not the guy.
Maybe the guy would help. Maybe we need our own big balls on the left.
Do we need to bring the guy in? Do we need to give the big balls his own podcast? Do the Democrats need to be just better at media? Because there are some fucking great ideas in the party, and are we just like not disseminating them correctly, Eddie? Like, yes,
they're
horrible.
They're, on the whole, I don't know if you guys agree with me. It doesn't seem like you do, but on the whole, they are just spineless. They're letting all this stuff happen right now, Well,
there's not, I mean, it's not that I wouldn't say they're letting all this stuff happen right now. I just think that when you have no power in any branch of government, there's very little that can be done. You can delay. You could do what the Texas Democrats are doing. Which,
I love that.
Shout out Texas Democrats.
Shout out Chicago Democrats. That's where they are, right?
What about Chicago?
They're all in Chicago.
Avoid taking the
Is that right? They have a great Hilton there. Right by the and
airport.
There's a spa.
They're doing it at great expense. $500 a day they're being fined to not be in Texas to delay the vote on redistricting Texas. So these are some of the tactics that you can deploy if you're a Democrat right now, but there's like not that many fucking tactics. Cory Booker did a speech for 24 hours or whatever.
Oh, he's the worst. He is the worst.
But I'm just saying, my point is,
mania.
there are these voices that are trying, and it's really hard when you don't have like literally any power.
I agree that it's hard, and I agree that you like to see people working with the levers they have, right? The Texas politicians leaving so they don't have to vote for this extremely unfair redistricting. That's huge. Seeing the Zoran Mamdani, like politicians at all levels speaking out against war and genocide. I think that's like really important. But I also think, I would love to see more moral clarity and more backbone about big issues that matter.
Okay.
Even like because nobody's gonna walk the walk until people start talking the talk at the very least, right? And so to have people going like, to have Pete Buttigieg going on podcasts going like, hey, our relationship with Israel is really special. It's like, you don't have to say that, bud. You don't have to say that.
Yeah.
You don't have to be aggressive
God.
in your rhetoric, but you can say like, hey, what's going on is bad and we shouldn't be a part of it.
Yeah, and I will say, like, the recent vote that they don't want to
Yeah.
support weapons shipments to Israel was like probably like the biggest shift in Democratic
and it still
politics
didn't get all
since
right
I
there.
don't
What
know
16,
what,
11 or 16 Democrats that wouldn't vote for that? Yeah.
We wouldn't do it. Yeah.
Was Cory Booker one of them?
Actually, yeah.
Yes. So enough of him. But the Democrats are just like the Republicans. They are bought and paid for by corporate money. Period. Period. The electoral system is nothing but legalized bribery. Now, I know what I'm saying kind of doesn't leave room for like, oh, but to work incrementally now is almost absurd with the climate collapsing and fascism here. Okay, I'm a guy. There needs to be a complete mass movement. So I'm with the guys who are really organizing people now outside of the politicians.
All right. Well, let's end on that note of Death Summer.
Well, I think it is nice to think about, though, right? Like
Yeah.
supporting people who really speak and live their values, and finding, whether
Yep.
it's labor organizing, community organizing, mutual aid, like that kind of stuff really does make a difference. And even amidst Death Summer, I think there are things that can be done, and it's like helpful to me at least to avoid being just like a full on like climate crisis, take me now. Like I'll just lie on the beach and hope that the sea
Right.
rises over my body.
Another form of human composting. I will say, yeah, you're absolutely right, Josh. We should kind of like have I like the idea of like who is out there that's trying to do the right thing. By the way, there are Democrats that are going into Republican districts and doing town hall meetings because those Republicans won't do town hall meetings during this recess, and there are like I said, there's this new AI rule. There's at the state level, at the local level, there's a lot that's still happening that's good, that's positive, and that's moving the needle towards a progressive future where there's more equity. And so what I always like to say when my friends text me that they're looking at headlines and they're losing their minds, I always say, think about the midterms, and then ask yourself, like, that's the first thing I do is I go like, okay, well, let's just think about the midterms and all of the electoral change we can make at the midterms. And then I think, do I have something on my calendar right now where I am contributing to my community? Because the change can be local. It does not, you don't have to change fucking the war in Ukraine. You can't, right? But you can do stuff, and or do you have something on your calendar that you're doing for your community? Are you supporting your neighbors? What do are you disputing a stop sign or whatever the fuck?
Are you donning
get involved,
your red
and
beret
those are the things I
and
think that
standing
help.
in front of Big Balls so that no teenagers can hassle him?
Look, I would do local action, but right now I am in the middle of the Ozark series. I was late to the party. I was late to the party with Ozarks, and I find it amazing that a middle class family,
You can't move away from that.
middle class family from Chicago, if you've seen Ozarks, is spending
so you're
off the
working
drug
really on
cartel.
you're maintaining the Ozark
They're doing a
layer.
great job.
That's your environmental.
Yeah. All right, folks, that is it for the show. Oh my God, I want to thank the two of you for being on the show and for having such a great conversation. And where can people find you, Eddie Pepitone?
EddiePepitone.com is my mothership for all my stuff. So go there. EddiePepitone.com. I'm at Eddie Pep on Instagram.
And don't forget to look at his special, which is on veeps.com right now, and you can see it on YouTube soon. And it's called The Collapse. And Josh
My new special
Gondelman, where do they
Positive
find you?
Reinforcement is on YouTube at the record label Blonde Medicine's YouTube page, which I'm like really psyched. I think you'll really like it. I love them. JoshGondelman.com for kind of everything, but also if you're looking for like updates, if you want to know if I'm coming to your city or whatever, I write a newsletter every Monday. It's free. It's called That's Marvelous. It's full of like pep talks and jokes and updates and what I've got going on, and you can find that at that'smarvelousnewsletter.com, and I'm at Josh Gondelman on social media.
Folks, and you know where to find me and all the things that I do. You can, I want to thank everyone who makes this show a possibility. That's our wonderful producer, Rob Heath. Thanks to Gaby Alter, who wrote our theme music. If you have any questions or concerns, you can reach us at fakethenationpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to support the show at patreon.com/Negin Farsad. Thank you so much to everyone who does. Again, that's patreon.com/Negin Farsad. And otherwise, we'll be back in your earballs next week.